Good evening, everybody. I'm Luke Dobbs. Brand new polls out tonight show Donald Trump gaining on Hillary Clinton in critical battleground states. The Quinnipiac survey shows that in Ohio, Trump is now ahead of Clinton by 1 point. In Florida, Trump tied with Clinton. In North Carolina, Clinton up by 4 points. In Pennsylvania, she leads by 5. The previous Quinnipiac poll showed Clinton leading in all those states, but now the race is obviously closing and quickly. Hillary Clinton last night did little to help her cause. In a commander-in-chief forum, she seemingly forgot that 4 Americans were killed under her watch in Libya, but Trump today reminded her.
When Gaddafi was threatening to massacre his population, I put together a coalition that included NATO, included the Arab League, and we were able to save lives. We did not lose a single American in that action.
She even falsely said, no American died in Libya. I heard that, and I said, could she have forgotten so quickly?
4 years. Hard to excuse her omission because, as they say, it was in all of the papers, the subject of congressional hearings, in one of which she testified for more than 10 hours. And yes, they even made a movie about it. Joining us tonight with his learned and bright perspective on it all, conservative commentator Pat Buchanan, on how he sees this race for the White House progressing for these candidates. We'll talk with Pat here later. One of the candidates having one of those moments every candidate fears, that moment belonging to the Libertarian presidential candidate Gary Johnson. And here he is, flubbing a question on the Syrian civil war.
What would you do if you were elected about Aleppo? About Aleppo. And what is Aleppo? You're kidding. No. Aleppo is in Syria. It's the epicenter of the refugee crisis.
Okay, got it. And got it he did. Johnson has promised that he will end his daily marijuana habit if elected to the White House. It is becoming increasingly likely he won't have to adjust his lifestyle in any way. Our top story tonight, Hillary Clinton is accused of more lies, supported by a State Department that defies legitimate requests for information from Congress, the media, and the public. All that the focus of a House hearing today, in which Congress examined the Clinton email scandal and whether the State Department is complying with the law as it declines and slow walks freedom of information requests. Oversight Committee Chairman Jason Chaffetz condemned Clinton for intentionally making a mess of the system for archiving and retrieving State Department documents.
Since 2009, there have been thousands of congressional inquiries, thousands of FOIA requests, subpoenas, media inquiries. And if any of those required Secretary Clinton's federal records, i.e. her emails, there was not a way for those requests to be fulfilled.
Before the hearing, House Democrats released emails between Clinton and former Secretary of State Colin Powell. They confirmed Clinton was told by Powell how to use a private email account. Powell wrote that he had, quote, a personal computer that was hooked up to a private phone line so I could communicate with a wide range of friends directly without it going through the State Department servers. Powell supported President Obama in 2008 and 12. Our first guest tonight says the FOIA request process is outdated and has failed to provide adequate responses to Congress until forced to do so by a court order. Joining me now, Congressman Jim Jordan. He was at today's Oversight Committee hearing. He also serves on the Judiciary Committee. He is chairman of the Freedom Caucus. Congressman, good to have you with us.
Good to be with you, Lou.
Were you satisfied? Were you any of your questions truly answered today by the State Department?
No, but we didn't really expect him to be able to answer and satisfy the inquiries we had. Look, they not only are slow walking and taking their time and not getting information that the public and the Congress deserve to have, they don't even have all the information to comply with the FOIAs because Secretary Clinton, her and her legal team destroyed information. And that's what we have to remember. Of the universe of emails that was out there, Hillary Clinton and her legal team got to decide on the front end which ones they kept, which ones we got. And the ones that they did destroy, they said weren't work-related, but the FBI said, no, there were about 17,448 that actually were work-related that we got from some other sources that you had emailed to. So, of course, the State Department's not compliant. They can't comply. They don't even have all the information. And what they do have, they take their old sweet time, good sweet time, before they get it to us.
You know, Congressman, I think that there is a certain fatigue setting in with the American public on this issue. The scandal has been raging over years now. And we know, we're learning little by little, and by the way, I think, like nearly everyone who is not fatigued by it, I salute you, I salute other members of Congress who are proceeding and pushing for every scrap of information you can get from the State Department. But at the end of the day, this is going to be decided by election that's now 2 months away, is it not?
Right, it's going to be decided by the voters. But here's two new pieces of information. First, remember, the FBI only looked at the classification issue. They did not investigate whether there was evidence destroyed and destruction of documents took place. We now know that the chronology of 1 month, March of 2015, we now know that chronology looks like documents were destroyed that were under subpoena and under preservation order. March 2nd, 2015, New York Times reports the special email arrangement Hillary Clinton has. March 3rd, a preservation order is sent from the Benghazi Committee. March 4th, the subpoena is sent. March 9th, Platte River Networks, the server providers, are on notice of those things. March 10th, her press conference, the important date, March 25th. David Kendall, Cheryl Mills have a conference call with Platte River Network, and they, shortly after that, sometime in the next 5 days, bleach bit.